Being Gen Z is terrible. Okay, that's a bit of an over-exaggeration. Now, trust me, I know that generations complaining about themselves and the circumstances they're brought up in is absolutely nothing new. This is something that's been going on forever. I know that even back in 1938, there was a couple 20-year-olds complaining that they didn't want to go to their paper delivery job. Well, good news, buddy, you're being deployed to Germany. I was born in 2004, which makes me the first generation to grow up with full internet access. It does most definitely come with its perks like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Grind. With this little brick that has a screen, I can get almost any information I've ever wanted. I can get cooking recipes. I could also find super irresponsible medical advice. I can even find singles within my area. Unfortunately, though, we're also the first generation to develop a phone addiction. I spend way too much time on my phone, and I am aware of that fact. I purposely do my best to stay away from the screen time stats because every time I've ever seen it in the past, I am immediately ashamed of myself. When I see that I have 2 to 3 hours a day on Instagram, it is like the worst post-nut clarity of my life. It's because of short-form content platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels that I think most people can't hold their attention to anything for longer than 3 nanoseconds. See, but even when it's short-form, there needs to be a bunch of different things going on at once, like colorful subtitles or some sort of Roblox obby gameplay. It's just so convenient because when I'm bored, TikTok's right there. But it seems that almost everybody's attention span is so cooked that nobody can go 30 seconds without being stimulated. Every time I play a game with someone, during the quick 15-second intermission between matches, you're bound to hear somebody's TikTok blast in the microphone. I'm not gonna sit here and judge them because I do the same thing. If we're already at that point, I don't even want to think about the little 8-year-old kids with iPads. They're gonna grow up picking at their skin like addicts when their iPad dies. My brain is so cooked by the constant 5-second dopamine videos that I think it's really starting to warp what I find funny now. I should be getting to the age where I'm considering starting a family, you know, locking down a full-time job. Instead, I'm too busy analyzing this. See, what the seal is doing is actually very smart, but it can also be really dangerous. Older generations weren't addicted to their phones. There was literally nothing to do back then. Nah, bro, they had cigarettes. If you take a look at this chart, cigarette users have been dropping like flies over the past few decades. Probably because all the current users are despawning, but also because people don't want to pick it up. They see the damaging effects that it causes. So, I mean, that's at least one good thing that Gen Z avoided. I don't really think... Oh, fuck. And then vaping came along. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and act all high and mighty and pretend like when I was a teenager, I would never do it, because that would be lying. And lying is wrong. But I'm now in an age where I've come to realize that maybe this isn't the greatest idea for our health. Groundbreaking statement, I know. I mean, come on, think of it. These things haven't even been around long enough to see the long-term effects on what it does. And y'all want to keep doing it? Man, for all we know, it could turn us into lizards in 10 years. You know what, man? I think I'm gonna pass on it. I'm cool. Except for at a party. It doesn't really help that these little devices are just so easily accessible. At least with like a pack of Newports, you can smell them from a mile away. But then you can go through an entire geek bar and smell like you just brushed your teeth. Also, did those anti-smoking PSAs not scare you as a kid? It's the old lady with a hole in her throat. She'd always be saying some, "I went through a bag of days in the age of 16. Yo, what the fuck? I don't want to have that happen to me. Like I mentioned earlier, Gen Z's circumstances are much different from what other people had to experience in the past. I'm not gonna say that we had it worse than anybody because, I mean, at least we have entertainment. Genuinely, what was there to do back then but read books? You could gather around the radio and listen to the weekly show. Ooh. You could reread Huckleberry Finn for the 17th time. I don't know how on earth they survived without cleaning videos or Family Guy. However, things weren't perfect for us either. For starters, the entire planet shut down. And, I mean, that kind of put a downer on everything. But that's no worries, because thanks to the strong and responsible leadership of our governments, everything is fixed. And I'm still on track to move out by the time I'm 21 at the latest and have my own house, right? Right? Hey, why is everybody so silent? And why is the average cost of a home now $300,000? See, after that little mishap occurred, prices decided to skyrocket across the planet. Now, it's not just typical expensive things like houses or cars that got more pricey. It's literally everything under the sun. Take a look at a Walmart ad from 2019 and compare it with this year, 2025. What the hell am I looking at? And these are the prices that we're gonna have to continue paying for the rest of our lives? Yeah, man, honestly, We're cooked. Don't be surprised if in 3 years you see me at the red light district trying to get money for milk. Oh my god, we went to high school together. Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah. You still got that 2-for-1 special? Yeah. Anyways, my point is that all this started happening right as Gen Z is about to enter their adulthoods. How convenient is that? Right as we're reaching the age where we can finally establish our own independence. You're telling me now is the time to have a fucking recession? We had almost 100 years to do this, a century. And you're telling me now? By the current age that I am right now, my grandparents would have already had a family with their own house. And I'm sitting here in my room watching Skibbity Toilet and animating stick men. By this point, I've pretty much come to terms with the fact that I'm not owning a house anytime soon. And I know for a fact I'm not the only one who feels that way. I see tons of people online who are my age, and instead of buying a house or renting an apartment, they just buy a trailer and live in there. And there's some people who even buy ambulances or school buses and then renovate it themselves. At this point, you can catch me living in a tent on the street. I may smell like a Walmart bathroom, but hey, at least I won't be paying rent of any kind. I'll make one of those little tent fortresses that you can see in some homeless encampments. It'll be pretty cool. I don't think it really helps either that Gen Z is the generation that will own almost nothing. With prices going up left and right, people don't have money just to throw around on shit they don't need. Which is where I introduce you to buy now, pay later. You know, instead of buying something that's $100, you can just pay $20 for the next 5 months. Now that seems pretty reasonable for things like an iPhone or a game console. But as of recently, DoorDash has made a partnership with Klarna, one of those buy now, pay later services. Instead of paying $15 for your Chipotle outright, you can just do 3-month payments of $5. Now listen, by no means am I a financial advisor or an economist of any sorts, but this is dumb. Let's go get that guy over there. Hey, you! Oh, are you talking to me? Yes, of course I'm talking to you. Oh, hello there. Are you tired of shitty energy drinks that are probably horrible for your health? Yeah, they give me kidney stones. It really hurts. That's really gross. But allow me to introduce you to Gamer Subs. It is a cheaper and a healthier alternative to energy drinks and soda, so that means no more kidney stones. How can that be possible, though? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's because it's 0 sugar, 0 carbs, less than 1 calorie, which then means that it's keto friendly and diabetic safe. Well, you already got me hooked. Oh, you will be once you try it. Now shut up and let me finish. Let's say you're somebody like me who doesn't like to be caffeinated 100% of the time. Lucky for you, they also have a caffeine-free line just for you to enjoy the flavor. And they got some really good ones. My favorite currently being Lean. Not only because it tastes fantastic, but also because it makes me feel like a SoundCloud rapper. If you use my link, you get 10% off your order. Come on! If you want to try it out, click the link in the description to get 10% off. Thank you to our good friends over at Gamer Subs. We love you. And now, back to the video. This is something that has been plaguing the men of Gen Z over the past few years. There's been an epidemic of alpha male influencers rising online lately. They set such an unbelievably high bar that it's ridiculous. Just a couple months ago, you had that guy, Ashton Hall, who did his absolutely stupid morning routine. They set such a high standard that I'm convinced they don't even do half the shit that they preach.
My day is 6 a.m. to noon, and I'm not crazy. My second day starts at noon and goes till 6 p.m. That's day 2. And then the next day is 6 p.m.
I must maximize my time, which is exactly why I have 2 days in one.
You sound like a cartoon villain. I swear, there needs to be some type of tax on podcast equipment, because why does everybody feel like they need to have a podcast and give the worst advice imaginable?
You do not have to accept her rejection. I'm a professional dating coach.
Hey man, don't even think about considering this advice. This is the worst thing you can ever do. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.